Now, A-level students have had maybe the weekend to mull over their future prospects, whether or not to head to university, weighing up other options. There is an event in Birmingham this coming Wednesday for graduates who want to work in creative industries. And one of the guest speakers is a fellow called Marc Silk. And Marc is from our neck of the woods, at Solihull, I think. He's worked on dozens of commercials. He's a voice artist. He's worked in Hollywood, and he's on the show. Marc, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good.
Apart from being incredibly tall, you must be one of the tallest broadcasters in this building.
I think I probably am the tallest broadcaster in this building.
It's the only time I've ever been in a studio where the person I'm in front of has a huge cardboard cutout at the back of them that's even bigger than they are.
I didn't put that there. I don't know who put that there.
I'm not sure who to look at.
I'd cut it up and use it in the winter for just a bit of kindling, just to start the fire going, to be honest with you. Now, just a sample, can you give people a flavour? Because you've done voices for film, for TV, for big award shows, for commercials, for videos, for computer games, all over the world. You work with some of the best, including George Lucas. Just, can you give us a sample of your voices?
Well, sometimes you might be sounding like that, or there's a show on in the morning called Fifi and the Flower Tots
on Milkshake on Channel 5, and I'm the voice of two lovely characters in that called Bumble and Slugsy. And Bumble's a little boy bee that's allergic to pollen, so he's all bunged up, and Slugsy's all lovable and huggable and slimy and then there was you mentioned Star Wars. There was a character I did called Axe Mo in episode 1. I worked with George Lucas a few years ago on that one, and he was the ambassador of Malastare, and he speaks a lot like that. The Congress of Malastare concur with the Right Honourable Delegate from the Trade Federation. A commission must be appointed. That is the law, Paul. And there was a guy called Johnny Bravo from a few years ago.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, man. Oh, Johnny Bravo.
In America, it should be noted, because over here, Bob the Builder, it was Neil Morrissey, wasn't it? Now, in the States, it's you.
It's me. Yes. And it's amazing. It's funny how that came about. Bob was animated in Manchester, in Altrincham, and all stop-motion animation. And I was in the studio where they make Bob and also made Pingu. And I was working on Pingu at the time, doing...
I love Pingu.
So I was working on stuff for Pingu, and I got asked, what would I do if if you were doing the voice of Bob the Builder, what would you do if he was in America? And so I said, hey, baby, could you like that? Can we fix it? I'm not sure. Come on, baby, we're on the clock here. Come on, Knuckles. Hey, hustle, hustle. And they said, well, can you make him friendlier? so Bob the Builder is like that. Hi, I'm Bob the Builder. How you doing, Paul? You're incredibly tall.
The theme park work. Just explain what you're doing on Wednesday, by the way, because I know you're one of the guest speakers.
Well, yes. I've been asked to. There are 4 of us doing a talk. It's called Know Your Place, and it's offering advice on the benefits and adopting an entrepreneurial and creative approach to work in general. So it's for people that want to be freelance or start their own business, and it's also raising awareness of BCU's Graduate Enterprise Club and the Be Seen initiative. But the bottom line is there are 4 of us there who each have our own stories that do something unusual or very creative in the way that we approach business. It's quite unusual, this, because usually I get asked to talk about the creative side, and this I almost feel like I know what I'm doing. It's like working with a professional.
Because you have done quite a bit of work with Disney, but how did it all start? How did you get into the business you're doing now?
I started in radio. So I started in radio as a producer, as a button pusher. I was the Bernadette a few years ago. So I was the Bernie. But I started out as a producer, and what I learned was how to make things sound big. I've always been a huge fan of a massive cinematic movie trailer sized audio. So I came from that background. Then I presented a show for a few years, and then all my heroes have been people like Jim Henson and Disney and Kenny Everett and Mel Blanc, the guy that did the Warner Brothers cartoon. And there are all these things that I loved that all went together. So I put together a show reel with me doing lots and lots and lots of cartoon voices. And no one had heard of me from anything, but I sent this out to the kind of people that I wanted to work with, and it got their attention because it sounded business. It was one of those where you'd never heard, no one had heard of me, and there's no reason why people would now, but they probably heard the work. But sending this production I put out, this little package, it sounded like we should probably speak to him at least. And he got me in the door. And then word of mouth, like with anything creative, if someone likes what you do, word of mouth spreads. So I got a call from Disney asking if I'd work with them. Well, yes, please. And then I got a phone call saying, "Hi, would you be free to talk about being in the new Star Wars film, working with George Lucas next Thursday?" I think,
Okay.
Yes.
What did you do for Disney?
I've been the voice of, well, I was the voice of the Disney Channel for a couple of years, and then I've been the voice for things to do with Disney theme parks, and even things like there was a commercial, there have been a few commercials where I've been the voice of Tigger. The wonderful thing about Tigger is Tigger the wonderful things. That's right, Paul.
So now you are almost like a one-man industry. But, I mean, you've done, if people watch award shows or Ant and Dec's Saturday Takeaway or whatever, then...
I've been that great big voice you hear on Saturday night. That fella. The Raw Variety Show. All those kind of things. I was the, if you saw Magic Numbers after X Factor on Saturday, I was the guy that said, "Tonight you could win £30,000.
I don't know whether anybody did win
Paul's
£30,000.
feed for the day. And Oliver live on WM. But I was doing all that kind of thing. And again, if what you heard on TV on Saturday, if you heard it, that was done from Birmingham. We did it from here.
Yeah.
And it's really the talk we're doing is to really inspire people into doing something. If they've got a skill, a real talent, and they're good enough at it, have a bit of a creative approach to what you do. I mean, at the moment, I'm working on my first animation project.
Your own animation?
Yeah, because I've been lucky enough to work with other people on theirs, and there are all these kind of things that I've wanted to do, and now with the technology that's out there, with things like YouTube and the the App Store, there are so many ways of getting your production to people without needing to go through a TV company. There's still huge advantages to going through a TV company, but there's other ways to do it. So what we've done, I'm working with a really talented animator in Birmingham, and we've kept all the people that we're working with to people that are based in Birmingham in the Midlands to really sort of nurture talent from here,
which is good.
Well, yeah, it's lovely, but there's a guy called Chris Randall whose animation is incredible, so we're working with him, and we're hoping to have this project out by the end of October.
So he's doing all the animation, you're doing all the voices and the various characters. So how many characters are there?
3.
Okay.
One main one, and there's also I've done the music for it as well, composed and played the music, and write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
And where will people be able to?
Initially, you'll be able to get it on your iPhone and your iPad. Do you have an iPhone or an iPad?
I don't.
Dear Santa, all he wants for Christmas is a nice piece of tech toy.
Maybe Bernadette will maybe you can start a petition.
I think the nearest I get is eating an apple a week.
Well, that works. But if you fancy starting up your own business there, Paul, and if you look like the kind of person that's just graduated, even if you are incredibly tall, if you'd like to come along to it, it's on this Wednesday from 4:00 at a place called Zelig, which is at the Custard Factory in Digbeth. It's free. And if you'd like to get more details and book online, you can. And the website is www.no-your-place.co.uk. It's a good job I don't do talking for a living.
Marc Silk, who's one of the world's top voiceover artists and based in Solihull. Were you born there?
Yeah.
You still live there now?
Yeah, well, I was born Castle Brom, and yes, I live in Solihull.
You haven't sold out to Hollywood, which is good.
Not yet.
Mark, great to see you.
Yeah, you too, thank you.
Wednesday, it's free.
It is free.
Yeah, and that website, just give people the address again.
Yes.
In that fantastic voice.
The website again,
www.no-your-place.co.uk.
Marc Silk with us. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.